up, guys? It's coming to you this morning. I got the June 1st previews and predictions. We got two cards coming at you on that day. We'll start with the lesser card on Fox Sports 1. It's a PBC card. So basically, I'm going to look at the co-feature first, which is going to see former world title challenger Willie Monroe Jr. against former contender or current contender Hugo Centeno Jr. It's a middleweight fight right here, trying to get back in contention. It's got some significance because, you know, these guys, Centeno's been in the ring with Jamal Charlo, got knocked out a couple of years ago, and the other guy, Willie Monroe, kind of a top 15 middleweight, been in the ring with Triple G, some decent fighters. I think he fought Billy Joe Saunders a couple years back, lost the decision in a world title fight. So, you know, he's been around the block. He's a veteran. He's solid, good boxer, southpaw. He's coming in as the favorite. He should have fought Charlo last December, but he had to back out with an injury the week of the fight. So, you know, we're going to see see if he can get back in line for a Charlo fight or something like that. You know, not a huge middleweight fight right here, but it's decent, worth watching. Not sure if I'll catch it because I'm going to be out of town again, but should be a decent fight. I'm picking Monroe to win this one by a decision, and yeah, move forward. So that's what's going on there. The main event is going to see Devin Alexander, former welterweight champ, actually former two-division world champion, take on Ivan Redkach. Alexander, you know, as I said yesterday when I was discussing the TV schedule for June, this guy bounced back and had a pretty shitty 2018. Excuse me. He should have got a decision over Victor Ortiz, and they somehow scored it a draw. You know, controversial draw, very, because he should have won that fight. Then he fought Andre Berto in August, and he should have got a decision there, and they scored it a split decision for Berto. Berto closed the fight strong over the last few rounds, but, you know, Alexander had dominated the previous 6 or 7. So, you know, he was on the wrong side of 2 bad decisions last year. Still trying to make a name. Redkach is a veteran, been in the ring with a couple guys. If Devin Alexander struggles with Redkach, you know where he's at. I personally don't think he's a top 15 welterweight right now. He's floating in that area, but he's way past it. I don't think he's going to make a dent, but he looked okay against 2 former names. So, you know, I don't know if this card's worth watching or not. Nobody that I really think could get a huge shot or a huge opportunity or really do anything with it, but it's on Fox Sports 1. It's got a couple names on it that people know. I'm saying Alexander's going to beat Redkach by a decision. He keeps his name in the loop, in the mix, for some of the bigger names to possibly face him. I think that's basically what these PBC fighters are doing at welterweight, trying to get one last day in the sun, one last big payday. So, Alexander should win a decision. Willie Monroe should win a decision. Fox Sports 1 on Saturday, June 1st. Now, the other card is going to be on DAZN that same night. You're going to have, first, the co-features. We'll start with Chris Algieri is on the undercard. He's trying to get back in the title mix. I don't know if he's going to get a shot. I really don't think he deserves one. He'd been out of the ring for a couple years there since being knocked out against Errol Spence about 2 or 3 years ago. Then he jumped in, you know, got an ugly decision win in his first fight back in January. Now he's fighting again on this undercard. He wants a world title shot, he says. Algieri doesn't have a lot of power. He can box, but didn't look great in his last fight. I mean, he's going to be on the undercard. I don't know if you guys want to see it. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this one, especially me being busy. But I think he'll get a decision win here. He's fighting some nobody. I don't even know the guy's name or remembered his name. So that's what's going on there. The co-feature is going to see Callum Smith, the undefeated WBA super middleweight super champion, is defending his world title against former 2-time middleweight champ Hassan Nadam from France. Now, Callum Smith, if you don't know him yet, he won the World Boxing Super Series last year. scored an upset 7th-round knockout over George Groves. Big-time win. He's number 1 at 168 super middleweight right now. He's actually being considered as a possible opponent for Canelo next. I think that'd be a good fight. He's tall. He can box. He showed in his last fight against Groves that he's got power. Going in against Nadam, who, you know, hasn't really done anything the last couple years. This guy, you know, he's been a name for a while now, though. I mean, I think way back, 2012 was when he fought Peter Quillen and got knocked down 6 times, but kept getting up and actually won some rounds. Lost the decision. Same thing happened against David Lemieux. He got knocked down 4 times, lost the decision. You know, but he got an upset, controversial decision over Ryota Murata a couple years ago. That has kind of kept his name in the mix, and a rematch, Murata knocked him out. He's 35. He's past his prime. He's moving up to 168. I really don't think he stands a chance against Callum Smith, but it's a good fight for Smith to look good in. I think Smith will dominate Hassan Nadam in this one with his boxing and his skill, and he should knock him out. If this goes the distance, I really have to question Smith's power at 168, because I was very impressed with his knockout of George Groves last year, because he wasn't a big power puncher prior to that knockout. I think he found his power in that fight. I think he needs to come out and have an impressive performance against Hassan Nadam, you know, if he wants to land a Canelo fight. So we'll see. Or if he just wants to land a big fight in the future. He does not need to look bad in this one. Especially with Canelo or possible unification with Billy Joe Saunders on the radar. He's got to look good here. He's the #1 fighter in the division. I think Smith wins by knockout in the middle, possibly later rounds, holds on to that world title. And then in the main event, you have Anthony Joshua defending the unified heavyweight championship against Andy Ruiz Jr. I really like this fight. Ruiz is a straight come-forward guy. I think he's going to come at Anthony Joshua. I think Joshua is going to take his time. He's going to box, and he'll pick him apart. And, you know, I think eventually Joshua is going to score a knockout in the middle to later rounds, but I do think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I like Andy Ruiz. You know, he's a hard-charging Mexican. He does not quit. He keeps coming forward. Joshua needs to use his angles. He needs to use his boxing ability, and that should get Joshua the victory here. I do think Ruiz has a puncher's chance, you know, to pull off the upset if he were to catch Joshua clean and continue to hit him. But Joshua is just too smart. He's too good, and I think he's going to pick apart Andy Ruiz in this one and get an impressive middle to later rounds TKO victory, hold on to his unified world title, and keep pushing forward for something better later in the year. So you got the #1 heavyweight in the world. You got the #1 super middleweight in the world on the card, on the zone here. You got a couple, 2 former champs in Devin Alexander and Chris Algieri fighting on Saturday. And then you also got a former world title challenger, Willie Monroe, fighting. So decent action going on Saturday, but the big fight is definitely Joshua and Ruiz. Heavyweight action for the unified heavyweight title. Make sure you're checking it out Saturday on DAZN. It's going to be Saturday evening because it's coming from Madison Square Garden. It's Anthony Joshua's American debut, so United States debut. So check it out, guys. Should be good. All right, True Boxing. Been hit with the truth.